Hey guys, Nicholas Poquello here, back to another video, and I want to give you guys an update before I do start on the commentary video for this series through episode 5. Through episode 1 and episode 5. Before I begin, I want to say some things. I know I have not been able to upload that much, any of YouTube videos, any art videos, or any of anything that much recently. Like some fan films or reviews. Fan films are very hard to make because they take a lot of time. And reviews, they're more my spare time thing, like I said. But I will still be active on YouTube. But in the meantime, I'm going to go to college. I'm getting ready for college, and I won't be active on YouTube that much. I will still be active on YouTube, but I will be taking a little break from YouTube to focus more on editing videos, focus more on working on the fan films I'm working on, including trying to do some other things, trying to do some other things, especially with college at this point. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. But without further ado, I want to start the commentary. So this is what got me back into filmmaking. So for this series was heavily inspired by the Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventures by SML. If you don't know who SML is, SML was a YouTube creator who makes these plush videos, but not anymore. I will tell that in a different video some other time. But yeah, that was me and my brother. We're just playing the Wii, pretending to play the Wii. This was back before my brother's voice had changed, and this was back when I was in middle school. So I was in middle school when I started to get back more into filmmaking. And this was a little experiment to get me back more into filmmaking. And this scene was also filmed during nighttime. And that was a shoebox, and I couldn't find any other thing to use for a time travel machine, so I decided to use my old orange shoebox. I don't know if I still have that anymore, but yeah. And this is a green screen. I couldn't edit anything with the green screen back then because Movie Maker wouldn't allow me to, because it was just a piece of crap software. It wasn't really that good. So they wouldn't let me edit with that, and then we had to cut off the things, and it would go very, very slow. So yeah, that's why you get to see these cuts, because I use Windows Movie Maker. Don't really like using that software that much anymore. Yeah, and if you see here on the scene with the future card, that was with stop motion. I've done stop motion in the past, back when I started my YouTube channel. Yeah, those plushies I got from Target and from eBay. So yeah, and that we can only use that. We couldn't use green screen visuals because, again, Windows Movie Makers wouldn't let me. So yeah, that pretty much sucked. Yeah, we tried to keep as much as continuity, unlike what Super Mario Logan did with some of his videos sometimes. So yeah, there it goes. There goes the part. Just 2 credits. It was just me and Diego that directed this episode. So that directed and written this episode. So yeah, or I most likely did that. So yeah, this is where I started my second channel and got back into filmmaking. So you can thank SML for that, for getting me back into filmmaking. But I wanted to do something more than just plush videos. And then here we are in episode 2. Episode 2 was way big and a little bit more longer than the first episode. At least in my opinion it was. And I think we were still using Windows Movie Maker back then. And for the future background, we didn't know what to do. We couldn't use the green screen again. So the way about how we can do that is by using our closet or using something from our bedroom that can be useful. So that we used our closet. And you can see the green screen there on the background from the first episode. So yeah. Yeah, and that's my brother's new Mario plushie. The last one that we had, it was pretty big. We couldn't use it anymore, and that's why we decided to use him as a dumb Mario. And that Mario plushie that you see in episode 2, that is our main Mario now. So that Mario has changed, and that Mario was looked more like the SML version of the Mario that we see. So yeah, and there's Blue Yoshi. I do the Blue Yoshi voice. So yeah, I did as much of the voices as I can for that. So on. Yeah. And Blue Yoshi was also heavily inspired by Black Yoshi from SML. And so we decided, hey, why not we try making our own character for Yoshi? And so we decided to use Blue Yoshi. So that's how we come up with Blue Yoshi, so you can thank SML for that. Although I hate him now. Yeah. But we'll talk about that in a different video. We try to come up with a different way with Blue Yoshi. You can see that there's a Lego Star Wars set on the background right there. Yeah, and there's a Lego Ghostbusters set as well that just passed by. Yeah, I tried to make a Lego Ghostbusters set, but I kind of sucked at it. But I'm hoping to redo that again when they resell the Ecto 1, the icon of the Ghostbusters van. So yeah, I'm hoping to make that. Yeah, got nothing that much to say other than just that I tried to make my voice sound a little different to Blue Yoshi instead of like trying to make Black Yoshi saying "old folk" again. I decided to make Blue Yoshi just like this Edward Norton kind of guy. I'm Edward Norton. I voice Sam Bagel Jr. from Sausage Party. Yeah, that's the best acting that I can do. Try to make it look more like Sam Bagel Jr. from Sausage Party. Yeah, if you guys seen that movie, obviously you've seen that movie. If you guys seen that movie, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, there's that other cut because we were still trying to use. And there's my Darth Vader watch over there. That is the Darth Vader watch that I had because I was a massive Star Wars fan. I still am a massive Star Wars fan to this day. Even creating some Star Wars fan films now at this point, like Starkiller's Star Wars Story. Just doing so much. Now, yeah, I still kind of have it. I still have it in my drawer somewhere. But yeah, we used that as the way back to go back to the present and all that. But yeah, we didn't know what the present was. We thought like Christmas presents. So yeah, yeah, you have to keep in mind that we are new to this kind of time traveling thing. We don't really watch that. I mean, we do watch a lot of time traveling movies. We watch Back to the Future. We watch Time Cop. We watch Time Force. Time Force, a TV show, Power Rangers. Yeah, but yeah, we watched those, and they were pretty awesome. Yeah. Diego tried not to break that, I believe, but yeah. Oh, and Diego's hair is on the way of the camera a second ago. But yeah, and there's another glitch over there again. Always with the glitches because Movie Maker is not that much of a really great software whenever it comes to HD videos, trying to make it more HD. And there's Black Yoshi over there from SML. But yeah, we decided to get a Black Yoshi plush because hey, it's Black Yoshi. We love him from SML. So yeah, and if you hear that noise in the background of that, those are like family calling that my dad was calling. But yeah, and that scene took very long to cut because then again, we're not that much very good at editing. Back then I was 14 and I was still trying to learn a little bit more how to edit, trying something new. It's very important to try something new. Never give up on trying something new. So yeah, Diego's face is almost showing there. Yeah. Try to do my best Black Yoshi impression. So yeah, we tried to do something as hard as we could with that. Yeah, and there's also that watch over there. We still got that watch. So yeah, we try so hard. Try so hard to get my hand back to Black Yoshi so that we can make him speak again. So on. Yeah. Yeah. Just living and enjoying it. Got nothing to talk about that much with the scene. We just try to do as much as we can with this scene and all that. But yeah. one thing that I really wish to do is do my better Luigi impression. I really wish I could have done much better with the Luigi impression, but yeah. Alright, and there's my shelf, my old shelf from my old room until before I moved to my new different room. So yeah, I did my best Luigi impression, but I don't think it was that good. So yeah, just hoping that I could do much better with a Luigi impression and all that. But yeah, maybe I will someday. I am very good at voice impressions, but yeah. Yeah, but this was back when I was 14, and now I am 18. So yeah, this could explain the other things about all that. Yeah, so on. There's my Ninja Turtle poster before my mom threw it away. And then there is my Lego Movie poster before my mom threw it away as well back then. I really wish I still have those posters right now, but you know what? I could just order another one on eBay. So yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah. There's our old bookshelf, but yeah. And that's my old computer that I use to edit videos, but not anymore. I don't use that laptop anymore. Now that laptop is my dad's, and now I'm going to be using this computer to help me edit videos, and using my Apple laptop as well. So yeah, I'm glad to do more commentaries like this and not having to worry about editing videos like I do nowadays. To edit more videos, to take more time on that, and yeah, I will still continue my never-ending videos of the DC Film Review retrospective, but I'm taking a little break from everything, just focus more on filmmaking and college, trying to get back more into art, and yeah, because I've shown art back in this channel, and I really want to get back more into art on this channel. So yeah, and there is there's that guy. I don't remember his name. I have not played Five Nights at Freddy's. I played it a little bit, but I was like too scared the shit out of to play it. Yeah, it's a pretty scary game. I don't remember that much of the game. I don't remember that much. I barely ever played it anymore. I'm done playing with that game. And then there's Link. I mean, I played a little bit of Legend of Zelda, so yeah, that's Cyborg Link. So, oh, spoilers. But yeah, if you guys have seen all the episodes already, you know that's Cyborg Link. And yeah, because plot hole reasons for the Link that we see in other videos. Yeah. This one was way bigger than the two previous episodes, and the reason why I'm counting that is because we now get to use the green screen very properly, because we got a proper software that can help with the green screen very popular. Yeah. This episode was also very challenging than episode 2 or episode 1, because this episode was originally going to have Link in it, but there was a bunch of technical errors with the green screen with Link, because Link has a green outfit and the green screen blends with his green outfit, and that didn't work very well. So we decided to scrap that episode because of the technical issues that we're having, and we were going to try blue screen, but we didn't. There was no blue screen option for this Memorial back then, so we decided just forget the green screen and just and let's redo this again, but this time with a different character. So we redid this again. It was very hard from the beginning, and it was a little lazy, but at the end we pulled it off, and there was this technical issue, because keep in mind, this was back when I was like 14 years old and something like that. So back then I wasn't that much very good with green screen, not until of course now recently, but I am still trying to improve. I'm not a perfect editor. I try my best to perfectly edit my videos. So yeah, having some problem with this. That Freddy plushie that we bought, I believe we bought this from Portland, I believe, from our trip to Portland. I don't remember that much, but yeah, that's where we actually bought this. Yeah. And the beach scene, this one, I really like this scene where he's talking to Freddy. I thought that was very good edited until that happened, of course, that blink thing. And this one is also one of my favorites with the forest scene. And if you look at Sonic's eyes carefully, you can see that they are green and that they blend with the green screen. But otherwise, it's okay. It's still okay. But yeah, we try to hide it as much as possible as we can. But yeah, with some blurs and all that. But yeah, or that was probably not my intention, or just say, meh, I'm just gonna go with it anyway. So yeah, this episode was pretty fun. It was like a very fun experiment to do for filmmaking. And yeah, we obviously couldn't go to other set locations because we didn't know where to film about that, and plus filming some other kind of locations would be also a little bit tricky and expensive, and it would be pretty hot outside. So yeah, and keep in mind, this was back when I was 14 years old and I was starting to get into my freshman year of high school. And yeah, in my freshman year of high school, I learned more and a bit more to become a filmmaker when I met Mr. Malum. Yeah, Mr. Malum. He's a really great guy. He was my editing teacher, and I liked him. I always liked him and support him. He's like my really awesome teacher. And yeah. And this was filmed at night, so it was almost at the end. And I don't know what else to say with that. And then in this episode, my brother's friend Damien was coming to visit with my brother, and not only that, Damien would like to play these plush toys, and he would always like to do something fun with them, just play with them and all that. But yeah, he agreed to bring him. So he agreed to get him into the videos, and yeah, he got into the videos. So yeah, but we also got one of our friends, Victor, to voice Turdy into some of the videos before he left because of due to some scheduling conflicts. And yeah, on Anime Blast right over there, tried so hard, tried to cut it as fast as we can. But yeah, then again, we are trying to experiment. So yeah, over time when I make these videos, I by far improved. Try to make sure to improve these, try to make sure to improve some visuals, improve some editing effects when I watch some behind the scenes tutorials and tutorials on how to make videos. And the Nerf gun over there, if you've seen that Nerf gun was definitely inspired by the SML video Nerf War. If you have seen that video was pretty funny. But yeah. And yeah, and in this episode, I get to do a little more better with some of the editing, and even so, also putting a bunch of Marvel references, because as you all know, I am a huge Marvel fan. I love reading Marvel comics. When I was very young, I even liked to cosplay some Marvel characters like Spider-Man, like I am now, and I'm even gonna cosplay Tony Stark pretty much soon. After when I'm done with my Clone Commando cosplay, of course, still in the works, and I'm getting ready for Rose City Comic Con. I heard that Anthony Starr is going to be there. Anthony Starr, he played Homelander in The Boys, and I also heard that Austin S.T. Johnson, who played Jason the Red Ranger from Power Rangers, is also going to be there as well. I'm very excited to meet both of them, actually, especially with some other cast members like Walter Jones, Karen Ashley, Jack Quad, I believe. I'm sorry, I don't remember that much of the name. Oh, I remember this interrogation scene. It was pretty much, this was pretty fun to edit, to say the least. And I actually picked the right music for the interrogation scene with Tails trying to interrogate, or something like that. I don't remember too much. I have not seen that much of the videos for a while now. But yeah, and then we actually got Shadow or something like that. But yeah, I think Victor was voicing Tails or something. Again, I don't remember. Oh wait, that's Shadow. Shadow's playing bad cop, and I also really like the scene where we're gonna get to. Yeah, this was by far one of my favorite scenes out of the episode to edit. But yeah. And I actually got to pick that from the Batman Arkham game trilogy. And as you all know, I'm also a DC fan as well. I'm a comic book fan and DC fan as well. I'm a movie buff guy, also comic book nerd and all that. Yeah, I like to do all these other things. I like to try to experiment more for this plush channel. Something that some other plush channels are also having a little hard time with, to try to reference with some other characters, but try to reference them like more like if it was in a movie and all that. Oh, there's a picture of my trip to Seattle with Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper, and there's the sound of the shotgun right there. That is by far one of my favorite scenes out of all this episode, basically by far. And there's that cameo red control Xbox 360 control over there that my brother got. And yeah, I actually remember loving that control at that moment until we traded that Xbox 360 for an Xbox One. But yeah, yeah, it was my brother's decision. But yeah, otherwise I like the Xbox One, and now we are trying to get like a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X because that is way more popular now. But a PlayStation 5 is like very expensive. I think like $500 or so. So how am I going to afford that if I yeah. Oh, my old phone, my old Android phone, and I think that's our old Nintendo DS. Yeah, I always loved playing the DS. I would always play it whenever we were going out for a restaurant. I remember my dad giving that to me for my birthday as like a really great system, and I would always play like Mario and Sonic on it, especially Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games and so on and so forth. Yeah, it was definitely very exciting to get a Nintendo DS. I never had that much of a Game Boy, but I had a friend who did play a Game Boy, and I did play a Game Boy from him, including like from a local video game store nearby that has a Game Boy that they allow you to play. And oh yeah, that's Angry Grandpa. I even also like to reference Angry Grandpa because then again, I like Angry Grandpa, and Angry Grandpa is one of my favorite YouTubers. Too bad that the channel went downhill. And may God rest Angry Grandpa's soul, by the way. Rest in peace, Angry Grandpa. Rest in peace. We miss you. We missed you. But yeah, yeah. Don't remember too much of this scene, and I don't know how to speak through this. But yeah. Oh yeah, I remember this. We used the Nintendo Wii, and we even choose the background of a limousine. We were gonna film it with a microphone at some point, but the microphone did not really work with my camera, so we got rid of the microphone. But yeah, it's not like as cool as a microphone as I have now that I'm using for my auto commentaries, so on and so forth. Yeah, and you can listen to this music, and then this is the end. So I'm gonna listen to the music a bit or so. Yeah. And then here we are in episode 5, where we stopped at some point. We will try to continue at some point with episode 6, but from now I'm taking a little break from plush videos and just start focusing more on other fan films, like live action, and going back to animation as well. Oh, and there's the TV show Chuck over there. I remember that copy. That copy actually was from the library. There was this library. It's like Blockbuster or Hollywood Rentals. Instead of like renting a movie or a video game there, you can actually borrow some things there from there. I don't know if your library has videos or videos like that, like DVDs or something, or Blu-rays, but yeah, they do that now, and they still do that to this day, despite Blu-ray and DVD not going a little bit downhill since COVID-19 with streaming taking over. Oh, and I remember this part. This part was one of my favorites because this was making fun of the opinion about how I hate A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life, I really didn't really like that movie. Sure, it has a decent plot and it has some okay characters, but I didn't feel myself invested in the characters or invested in the story. It just feels very not that much Pixar magic. Other than with A Bug's Life, it was okay. It had, with the animation looks really nice. Definitely Pixar top quality, if you ask me. But A Bug's Life is just a pretty bad movie, and it's just forgettable. Just forgettable. I can't believe I seen this movie back when I was like in elementary school, and when I was very young as well. Don't watch it by any means, because this movie is basically just shit. I mean, yeah, it is basically shit, but yeah, you know what I mean. And not only that, I also decided, hey, when I do that with an X-Men kind of parody, so I did it with an X-Men kind of parody because I seen other videos that do like the dubbing thing with the X-Men parody trailers, and I decided, hey, why not do a little bit something fun like that? You know, bring it back from the old days of the golden age of YouTube, etc. I mean, I like the golden age of YouTube, so yeah, I grew up on that era. Growing up, I grew up with YouTube videos like this, YouTube videos like those growing up, when I first got introduced to YouTube, and even when I started to make my own YouTube channel. But yeah. No idea what I'm about to say, but yeah, this movie is basically just shit, but yeah. Yep. Masterpiece.
Don't give up on them. Mankind has evolved.
Masterpiece. Definitely a masterpiece. Masterpieces.
So what'd you think?
I tried to like make a bunch of awesome references to my second channel, to a bunch of other channels, because hey, I like references. I mean, I've got those inspired by Pixar Easter eggs, even though I'm not that much of a huge Pixar buff as much as my friends are. My friends from school are, one of my friends from school, like Nia, is basically, she is a huge Pixar fan, a huge Disney fan. Yeah, mostly grew up with Disney. She does like Marvel movies at some point, but she's mainly a Disney fangirl and a Pixar fangirl as well. She likes everything Disney, I believe, or anything animated or kid-friendly, to say the least. But I, for one, not a big fan of. You have to remember that I am more of a strong critique guy, and I prefer to like see some more mature storytelling, if you know what I mean. Mature storytelling to give really good, really good arcs and so on. But yeah. Oh, and there's that where we picked up from the last episode, but yeah, this is the time travel. I tried to make a miniature set for this, even trying to add more references to Chuck, another one of my favorite shows. Trying to make those posters look believable. Try to do that. Trying to experiment more with a little more stop motion, and I did an okay job with this. I'm a little proud. At the same time, I really wish I could have done more, or film on a green screen at the mall. We were originally supposed to film at a mall. Oh, and I love this song, but unfortunately, we didn't have the time to do it. I try to edit as much of this as I can as possible, because hey, I like to do more editing skills at some point. Like to be more creative with my films. I'm artistic, of course. I like to be more artistic. Stanley, R.I.P. Stanley. Haley Steinfeld from Bumblebee. Yeah, I like Bumblebee, and I also like Into the Spider-Verse. Both films are really good. Yeah. Bumblebee, it's not perfect, but hey, it's a really good Transformers movie, to say the least. and that we tried our best to do that. So, yeah. Living in the city. Yeah, it's a little dark. I believe that this was like after school. Yeah. Oh, my old room. Before I moved, of course. Before I moved from that from 2019. I moved my room to a different room since 2019. So again, we try to make some futuristic backgrounds, but executed very poorly. So yeah. Oh, and there's me watching. Emergency Awesome. I forgot about that. Oh, I try to make sure to do this like this. To me, this scene reminds me more of Time Force, Power Rangers Time Force. So, yeah, you guys remember that? You guys remember that show, right? Power Rangers Time Force or Super Sentai Time Rangers, as it is called in Japan. No, you guys don't remember? Well, I for one remembered, and I actually own the merchandise from that show. Well, and there he is. There is the main villain of the main villain, Red Yoshi, Evil Yoshi, I believe, where he's trying to can't remember too much about that. Again, it's been a very long time for me, so I'm trying to keep yeah, I haven't seen these videos for about a while now, and like I said, I'm taking a little break from plush videos, but I will be back making more plush videos eventually, but just taking a little break from that.
Watching Aquaman, that was really awesome.
And so on. Yeah. We try to do as much more segments as we can, you know, trying to make the video entertaining and a little bit more longer as possible as we could. But yeah, that's all what we can try to do. We try to give it as much possible things as much as we can do, so on and so forth. And yeah. Otherwise, I'm pretty bored talking about this scene right now. So yeah. But you want to know what I didn't really like too much about the plush videos sometimes is that plush videos, despite that I really like making them, is that sometimes you just wish you have a more creative idea rather than just, you know, trying to be more like SML. So yeah, and I'm trying to distance myself away from SML. So yeah, I didn't, yeah, and now that I hate him now, but basically, yeah. That was my old phone case before I got the red one. Now the red one is not that really good, and I gotta get a new different phone case now. All my phone cases have been like either damaged and all that, and my phone is a little almost damaged. But other than that, it's fine. Back to the Future, Back to the Future reference. I mean, you guys seen Back to the Future, right? Of course you guys did. I mean, it's like one of the most awesome films of all time. And here's the song from Batman Beyond. If you guys don't remember what Batman Beyond is, it was a very popular DC animated show back in the 90s. Awesome DC animated series. I really like the concept of a futuristic Batman, and of course that was taking a lot of inspiration from not just with DC lore, but also with Spider-Man 2099. And that show, definitely amazing. I mean, the villains are basically a mix between both Batman villains and Spider-Man villains. Like Blight.
But I'll see you soon.
Like Blight, he's basically a parody of. I mean, he's basically like the DC's version of the Green Goblin and the Joker. And Ink is basically like the Sandman and the Venom symbiote, and of course Clayface. And we even got some former villains from the Batman mythos returning back, like Mr. Freeze and Mr. Freeze and Ra's al Ghul and the Joker in Return of the Joker. I mean, if you guys seen Return of the Joker, you know that is a pretty good movie. I mean, that was one of my favorite childhood movies. And one thing that I was really scared about in that movie was the Joker death scene. It completely, it was very emotional. It I cried as a kid when I first saw that, especially in the PG cut. Yes, there is a PG cut, and the PG cut is more likely a VHS version. So if you are trying to look for a watered down version, you know, for your collection or something like that, I'm pretty sure it's on eBay or it's on Goodwill. But why that? I mean, you got the movie on HBO Max, right? So why not watch the movie either on DVD or on DVD or Blu-ray or on HBO Max? I mean, streaming is now the new deal. And Blu-ray and DVD are kind of, sort of dead. Not really dead, but they are sort of dead.
I'm right here.
I really miss Blu-ray and DVD. I mean, I've got one of my favorite Power Rangers shows on DVD, and Power Rangers was removed from Netflix, which was pretty sad. But almost all the episodes are, I believe, are now on free, available on YouTube. Yeah.
That we may never know.
Yeah.
He said something about a war.
I mean, Power Rangers Samurai is where I stopped watching Power Rangers because, yeah, it's, because it was more watered down and it didn't really make me that much like Power Rangers anymore. And I guess people are right that maybe that it could have been better when Disney still had the rights to Power Rangers, and that the rights would never be sold by Saban, and Nickelodeon would never produce it, and sold back, or that Nickelodeon wouldn't produce the series in the first place. But yeah,
That wasn't even the real Junior.
Spawn is not as much noticeable as Disney, Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, Universal Studios, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and Sony, etc. And the Hot Diggity song, I don't remember, but that was a song back in the old 50s. I heard it from Doom Patrol, and I've taken a lot of inspiration from that show for this episode. Yeah, pretty cool, right? I mean, you guys seen Doom Patrol, right? I love that show. That show is my taste. It's pretty awesome. I mean, the DC HBO Max shows are doing a little bit more better than what we are seeing in the Arrowverse now, since the Arrowverse sucks now. It used to be good and used to be very surprising like the MCU, but nowadays it is not anymore. It's just going downhill. It kind of is, at the same time it's kind of not. I mean, Stargirl is pretty good. Yeah, I love Stargirl. That one was my favorite show, and I cannot wait for the second season to come out sometime sometime this August. So yeah, I'll probably definitely be upload the JSA fan film before the I don't know, before the second season. I don't know. All right, so who knows? Maybe. But yeah, those are past episodes that we have already done. So yeah. Yeah, because that Chuck is owned by Warner Brothers. So yeah, Warner Brothers made the show. Why isn't the show on HBO Max, Warner Brothers? Please put it on HBO Max. So yeah, that's basically my commentary video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is a little bit longer than I expect that it would be for a commentary video for all the episodes of Mario and Sonic Travel to the Future series. But in other words, I'm still working on my other fan films. But yeah, a two-parter on my comic books, on my comic book collection 200 subscriber special will be coming out soon. I promise you that. Well, can't keep promises, but what I meant to say is that I will make sure to get it out on time. So yeah, but it's gonna be a little bit late. So yeah, because you know, college and editing on these videos, and I like to do more on creative art. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out.